welcome. Hello. Hey, lovely to have you here.
Thank
Nice to
you.
see you.
Sorry I'm late. Things are moving real slow still. I'm still on backup connection, so
No problem at all. Right, so let's make a start. So just take a few moments to relax and check in with yourself, and just do some nice, slow, gentle breathing. Okay, like we usually do. Relax deeply into yourself. So today I wanted to dive back into the 10 Mirrors of Awen practice. And I know we've covered this in a class or two before, but I really wanted to go back into it and provide a nice, beautiful kind of overview of the mind training framework within this. So we have 10 mirrors, each mirror serving as a focal point for meditation, symbolizing a particular aspect of the self or the mind, or the way in which we can work with the mind, and the way that that mirrors or translates into the universe, so that it's something that we can help to try to understand or to embody within our practice. The idea here, the mirrors providing gateways to potential deeper insights, a reflective surface perhaps for the mind to explore its own nature and the nature of reality, or potential nature of reality. We're going to use seed syllable sounds. So each of these sounds is a kind of vibrational key, if you like, to unlock a specific state of consciousness or a particular aspect of mind. And each of the sounds aligned with the energy of its corresponding mirror, hopefully enhancing the focus of the meditation and deepening connection to whatever, the desired quality or the insight that we're looking to work with. As well as this, an alchemical process associated with each mirror, each of the 10 mirrors, to symbolize a transformational pathway, turning base mental states into these embodied qualities, or qualities to be embodied. So the process is hopefully here with the alchemical transmutation of any obstacles, fears, limitations to our goal of finding some modicum of wisdom, strength and clarity from within that. But also, as well as that, breathwork and movement, so physical practices integrated into each of the 10 mirrors, to help us literally embody the qualities that we're looking to cultivate. So the breathwork, synchronizing body and mind, facilitating energy flow, emotional release, whilst the movement perhaps helping to ground any insights and energies that we can invoke within the practice. So that's the basic overview of the 10 qualities. So the 10 qualities of mind training, or of this particular mind training, or the attributes and skills that the practice seeks to develop within us, are as follows. Number 1, observation without involvement. So, excuse me, so observing emotions and thoughts as they arise without getting too deeply involved or entrenched in them. Hopefully the idea here is to maintain a clear and content-free state, a contentment in our state of mind. Number 2, awareness of emotional states. So here the idea is the practice helping us to recognize and fully experience emotions within our conscious awareness, providing us with a choice in how we can express them or manage these thoughts and emotions. Number 3, non-attachment to thoughts, emphasizing staying uninvolved with the thoughts to a degree as they come, letting them come and go. Hopefully the idea here is to reduce the imbalanced impact and influence that they might have on our state of mind, giving us an opportunity to dive deeper into number 4, spacious experience. So thoughts, feelings, sensations seen as aspects of being that arise in a spacious experience, but do not define the entirety of our being. Number 5, relaxed contentedness. A cultivation here of a relaxed state of mind being paramount, serving as a kind of deeper foundation for spiritual exploration and connection with the essence of pure mind. Number 6, expansive non-conceptual clarity. So what we mean here is the practice here is hopefully designed to lead us towards a much more effortless and expansive clarity of mind, to free ourselves up from the barriers that can be there from conceptual thinking or overtly conceptual thinking. Number 7, integrated wholeness or unity, integral unity if you like. So here the idea is engaging in a process of unification, harmonizing various different aspects of our being with a view to, with the focus being on togetherness, without a sense of separation, if you like. So, unity, the unison principle. Number 8, a comprehension of suffering and virtue. Now, what we mean by that is, hopefully, the idea here is to understand how our personal suffering can all too often be self-induced or produced. Not always, of course, but also not to kind of leave it there, but how we can adopt virtuous actions. And what I mean by virtuous action are methodologies, practical actions, ways of being that can counterbalance, so that we're able to become a blessing, so that we're able to engage in healthy and balanced patterns, if you like. That's what we mean by virtuous in a nutshell. Number 9, foundation of further insight. So insight meditation, hopefully evolving and involving ourselves in a deeper analysis and understanding of the nature of mind and phenomena as a whole. And last but not least, number 10, cultivation of psychological equilibrium. So here we're aiming to achieve a balanced state of mind where attention can be focused in a serene sense without being too swayed by, for example, external distractions or internal disturbances of thought and mind. So now what we're going to do is explore each of these 10 aspects that I've just mentioned here, with this, with regard to our druidic mind training, but talk about now we're going to delve into the corresponding mirrors of these 10 qualities. So each one of these can be worked with as a standalone development, or preferably as a complete work that we can repeat and increase the potency as we go along. So let's start with the first of our 10 mirrors, the mirror of observation. And here the quality, just to remind you, observation without involvement. So what to say about this? The mirror of observation here, serving as a kind of potent metaphor for our practice of mindfulness, illustrating the concept of observation without involvement. So here, the idea is for us to encourage ourselves to observe our thoughts and emotions and sensations as if they were reflections in a mirror, present but not altering the essence, if you like. The idea with the meditation here is to underscore our ability to remain detached in a healthy and balanced way and unaffected by the mind's activities that constantly shift, that are forever shifting within our consciousness. So by likening the mind to a mirror, here the idea is to help us practice maintaining a state of clear awareness, observing the comings and goings of our mental and emotional phenomena without engaging with them, and particularly not without judging them too much. So a method of observation, helping us to foster a deep sense of inner calm and clarity, and by way of this, training the mind to recognize its own nature without becoming too entangled in the content that it's perceiving. So if you'd just like to close your eyes now, we'll do a little meditation. So for each of these 10, this will be the process. So if you would, imagine that you're walking perhaps through an ancient tranquil forest, the air being fresh and filled with the scent of pine and earth and the gentle rustling of leaves underfoot, creating a sense of peace. As you wander deeper into the forest, you can come across here now, perhaps with me, a serene, crystal clear pond. This pond is perfectly still, reflecting the vast sky above with impeccable clarity, a hidden jewel of nature. As we sit now by this pond together, notice how it flawlessly mirrors the sky, the clouds representing our thoughts and emotions, drifting lazily across its surface. Some are fluffy and light, others dense and somber perhaps, yet the pond surface remaining undisturbed, unaffected by their passage. This pond here could be seen as a mirror of your mind, clear, reflective and serene. Now, with regard to emotional and thought observation in this setting, we can begin to understand the essence of observation without involvement. Here, the drifting clouds are like your thoughts and emotions. They exist. They are acknowledged, but they don't need to disturb the tranquil nature of the pond, of the mind. You observe these mental clouds as they form, change, and eventually fade away without becoming entangled in them. Here, we can teach ourselves the art of a healthy and balanced mental detachment, where you can witness your thoughts and emotions without letting them cloud your inner tranquility and peace. Now for the seed syllable sound for this mirror of observation. Vum. Here, the seed syllable vum can be chanted to help us deepen this practice of mindful and healthy detachment. So what you can do is take a nice deep breath in, and as you make the sound vum, feel the gentle utterance of the sound sending ripples of calm across the mind's surface, much like serene ripples across a pond, serving as a tangible reminder of your ability to find clarity and healthy detachment. So here the sound vum, encapsulating the core, encouraging a state where we can be observant, yet unaffected by the ever-changing landscape of our thoughts and emotions. So try that out. See it ripple across the pond. So see and feel the sound acting like a soothing balm, perhaps a caress that can smooth the mental waters, inviting you to embody the pond's calm, clear and reflective nature. So through using this sound, for example, you could use any sound. I just chose it felt nice when I was writing this practice. But here you can use the sound and visualize the sound VUM as a way of helping encourage that healthy, detached and observant aspect. You know, the pond undisturbed by the fleeting clouds of your thoughts and emotions above. So use the sound here to reinforce your ability to witness your mind's phenomena without becoming too judgmental or too entangled in them. So a breathwork integration, observing the breath. So at the pond's edge within your mind's landscape, perhaps within your inner grove, if you like, you can allow yourself to feel the solid, supportive earth beneath you, grounding your presence in this setting. Turn your attention towards your breath and observe its natural rhythms as you inhale and exhale. Each breath you take can mirror the gentle waves upon the pond's surface, a rhythmical dance reflecting the vastness of the sky above, a harmonious interplay between your breathing and the imagery of the pond could perhaps serve as a foundation of another meditation that can connect you deeply with the essence of observation, observing without involvement. You could try synchronized breathing with the visualization. So as you observe the clouds, for example, your thoughts and emotions drifting across the pond, you can synchronize your breathing with their movement in a playful sense. So perhaps inhale slowly as a cloud or thought appears in your mind, and exhale gently as you watch it drift away. So this kind of synchronicity can help in general reinforcing the practice of observation without movement, without involvement. Gentle physical movement, so simple hand movements. So as you're in the meditation here, when you're doing this, what you can also do is, as you're sitting by the pond, incorporate a slow, deliberate hand movement. So for example, raising your hands gently up with an inhalation, mimicking the rising of the thought, the emotion, the cloud, the formation of this, and then perhaps lowering them with each exhalation, almost like you see people doing qigong, for example, up and then down, just palm up and then palm down. As you exhale, the thought or the emotion can disperse. So unlike sometimes what people can be confused with a little bit in meditation, where perhaps they're trying to not have a thought or an emotion, if anything, this is the very opposite. We're accepting, like we said already, accepting the fact that of course we are going to have thoughts and emotions, and to just allow them. So it's that sense of allowance, the magic of allowance, that is deliberately allowing in a spontaneous and relaxed fashion, and that's perhaps what we mean by the detachment, is that kind of healthy ability to be spontaneous. If we get too attached to things, that obviously spoils or can spoil the magic of spontaneity, because we're holding on to form that is illusory in many respects anyway. So use the hands, simple hand movements. Another one, head tilting for a perspective shift. When we're listening to people and things, we often turn our head to one side to listen into something. Here you can tilt your head to listen into a new perspective. You could gently tilt your head upwards as you inhale. Slowly look up at the vast sky, symbolizing the vastness or the infinite nature of your mind, and then slowly bring your gaze back down to the pond as you exhale, observing the reflected clouds below your thoughts and emotions. You could try swaying the body in a nice synchronous way. So allow your body to slowly sway from side to side in rhythm, perhaps with your breathing. So I just love incorporate. I think it's so important to incorporate physical movement with these mind practices, or any kind of spiritual practice for that matter. Synchronizing the movement of clouds across the pond in your mind as a way of enhancing or sensing or creating that flow and connection within the meditation, but of course, within yourself. So just a couple of ideas there. And then last but not least for this first mirror, an alchemical process of distillation. So integral to the mirror of observation, here the alchemical process of distillation is not just a purification of etheric substances, if you like. It's symbolizing the refinement and clarification of consciousness itself. So in perhaps the practice where we might think of transforming materials into their purest forms through a meticulous process of heating, evaporating, condensing, like we might do, when we make alcohol, we sometimes in English call it spirit, which I find quite interesting, the distillation of ingredients into pure spirit. So here, emblematic of our journey towards a purified state of awareness. I like to point out, in my humble view, obviously what we're doing here is not kind of purifying ourselves, but perhaps removing the illusory impurities that keep us from the awareness that state of purity is already present and there within us. So I'd just like to make that point. I think that's quite important. The breathwork, accompanying movements, offering is a holistic framework towards achieving this quality of observation. The alchemical distillation process mirrors our objective here to separate the essence of our awareness from the transient nature of our thoughts and emotions that can cloud it at times. So distillation here, a careful separation of what is essential, if you like, from the non-essential. So encouraging ourselves to observe the thoughts and emotions as they are temporary and not necessarily integral to our core. The pond's imagery, serving as like a kind of tranquil mirror, reflects also the principle by showing us how these thoughts can pass over us without altering our fundamental nature, and so on. And so the alchemical principle here, distillation, helping to separate and distill down from scattered thoughts and emotions into a kind of the gold of clear consciousness, if you like, or clear mind. So that's an overview. Obviously, for those of you that are interested, obviously I've put together an ebook with the expanded version of this practice that people can download, check out, hopefully try out for yourselves. And I always like to say to people, if any of this resonates or feels good or feels right, then do make it your own. Create your own practice on the back of it, please, if anything here is of any use. So the second mirror, I called this the mirror of stream. The principle that we're working with here, awareness of emotional states. So the mirror of stream, intertwining with the practice of awareness of our emotional state, offering us a way of, one of many ways of course, in which we can understand or take a look at our emotional landscape in a way that might be beneficial or helpful. So here with this mirror, with this quality, the idea is to encourage us to envision ourselves beside a gently flowing stream, and where the water surface is occasionally marked by ripples. Each ripple symbolizing an emotion arising from our subconscious, manifesting briefly on the surface before naturally dissipating. So in the visualization that we'll do in a moment, the idea is to observe, like a little bit like we've already done, and that's a continuing theme in this practice, but observing and acknowledging our emotions without attempting to alter or suppress them. So not just acknowledging them and not trying not to judge them too much, but here we're also adding on to that, we don't want to alter them or try to suppress them. And this of course applies to the thoughts, not just the emotional responses and feelings. The same way the stream accepts every ripple of its surface. So to recognize in a deep way your emotional states, enabling you to, through that, hopefully to experience even a real depth and feeling within the spaciousness of your conscious awareness. So adopting the stream's perspective, if you like, becoming the water, a lovely druidic practice in principle, I would say. Learning that the emotions, like the ripples, again, or like the clouds we did before, transient phenomena that don't necessarily need to define or disturb our inner peace, offering us an opportunity to understand ourselves and make perhaps more mindful choices about how we respond to those feelings. So a little visualization now with me. So imagine wandering through a verdant landscape with the air alive, perhaps with the freshness of greenery and a gentle breeze that dances through the leaves. A soft murmur of a stream drawing us closer and leading you to a crystal clear brook that flows gracefully through the natural surroundings. Let's now sit by its banks and feel the cool air brushing against our skin, and notice the stream's surface, mostly smooth, but here occasionally disturbed by ripples. These disturbances, akin to the emotions that surface within us, some fleeting and minor, others perhaps more significant and enduring, but each ripple on the water here with us representing an emotion emanating from within, moving along the stream's path before it naturally dissipates and continues its flowing process. So here, let us watch this process. So see with me the ripples arise, journey across the water, and then kind of vanish, much like the ebb and flow of your own thoughts and feelings. As we observe the stream now, notice how the ripple forms, grows, and then naturally fades away, leaving the surface calm and clear once again. Feel the emotions and thoughts, like the ripples, arising from the depths of your consciousness and dissipating. The stream does not resist these ripples, it acknowledges them and allows them to continue on with their flow, accepting our emotions as they are without trying to change or suppress them. Now let's introduce our seed syllable for this mirror, Rinu. Rinu. Feel the sound embodying a sense of fluidity and acceptance, just like the stream. With each time you try with the sound that we make the sound rinu. Visualize yourself aligning more closely with the nature of the water. And of course, as a being comprised in a physical sense of roughly 75% water, we're really good at doing that, you know, because we are like 3/4 water in some respects in a physical sense. So be flexible, adaptable, adaptive, and know that you're always able to return to a state of calm. So you can use the sound, that's the idea here, is to use the sound to help embody that quality. So you can continue to observe the stream as you and using the sound rinu, and become aware of the nuances of your emotions. You can practice recognizing them as they arise and listen into their nature. Allow them to flow through your consciousness without too much attachment, or as little as possible. We're not trying to be superhuman beings here. It's just a way of trying these things out and seeing how they can work for you. So help to deepen an understanding through an active listening, if you like, of your emotional landscapes, your mental landscapes, and like the beautiful flowing stream, giving yourself some inspiration and encouragement in your ability to navigate it with a graciousness that is as beautiful as the flowing of the water. Breathwork integration, perhaps. So yeah, you know, one of the things, for example, for those of you that might have an inner grove practice, you might already have a special, even in your external grove or your internal grove, you might have a water source like this, like a stream or a river, or you could use the ocean. I think it's better to use a stream or a river for this particular one personally, but you know, you could use any flowing water source ideally, either in your mind or indeed all of these things can be practiced externally, you know, in the physical world as well. I would say it's a really good idea to try and do both, just as a little side note. So yeah, breathwork integration. So here, rhythmical breathing once again. Synchronize your breath with the imagined flow of the stream. Visualize the water flowing towards you. Exhale slowly as it moves away. So this rhythmical breathing, mirroring perhaps the natural movement of the stream in your mind, helping here to harmonize your breath with the flow of your thoughts and emotions. Visualization with the breath. So as you observe the ripples on the stream, you could again inhale when a ripple begins or takes shape. Hold your breath for a few comfortable moments and then acknowledging the emotion, and then exhale gently and feel and know and watch the ripple to just fade away, to flow away. So here, this breathing pattern, the idea is for you to find a way of experiencing and then releasing the emotion, just like the stream's acceptance and release of each ripple, but using the breath to do so. Physical mood, gentle physical movement. So you could try hand movements with the ripples. So as you sit beside the stream, either in a physical sense or in your mind and in your inner grove, you can use your hands to mimic the movement of the ripples. Remember, be playful. To be playful is a flowing. With each emotion that arises, each ripple, each thought, gently move your hands outward from your body, perhaps, then slowly back again as the ripple fades. So using physical movement here to externalize and process your emotions. Body sways once again for the emotional flow. So you could try gently swaying your body from side to side in rhythm with the flow of the stream. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever done that. Well, I'm sure you have, but one of the things that I love to do is to sit by a stream and try to listen to the rhythm. Now, of course, the thing that I find quite funny is that you can go, oh, I've got it. Oh, wow, this is an actual kind of almost like a beat or a pulse, and then it just does something completely different. And I find that actually, just as another aside, that's a wonderful way of practicing your listening skills. Your active listening observation is by doing that, listening into the rhythm of the stream. You might find and catch a pulse, but then it changes. So allow the mind in a spontaneous and relaxed fashion to then just switch to the new pulse, which is, after all, a nice way of actually practicing not becoming attached, because what you can do is naturally the brain starts to kind of become entrained and feel into that rhythm. And then when it does something different, you're like, oh, it's almost like someone playing in a rock song, like a straight 4/4 beat, and then someone suddenly switches to, like, I don't know, 11/8 or something, 12/8. And naturally it makes you have this kind of jolt moment which is, I think, is good, actually. It's a good way of practicing that non-attachment. Anyway, so yeah, grounding yourself in the body, moving, using these physical elements with the mirror of stream meditation can create, a really nice, powerful practice just in itself. That holistic approach here, emotional awareness and harmony built into what we're doing, what you're thinking and trying to work with here. The alchemical process now, solution. Finding solutions to our imbalances, our resistances, the things that we do that hold us back from working with that beautiful awareness that is already there. So the alchemical process of solution, applied here within the context of the mirror of stream meditation, is the process, obviously, the alchemical process, dissolving a solid into a liquid to achieve a unified solution. So the parallel here with the practice, dissolving our emotional reactivity, our mental chaos in some respects, into the clarity that we can find, the clarity of our consciousness. So emotional reactivity, not being forcibly suppressed, but acknowledged, allowed to dissolve naturally within the stream of our awareness. So a lovely way, again, of just, this is just another kind of slant of practicing. The thing is you can also do this with the sound renewal. So you can think about the process of dissolving this emotional reactivity, the cognitive kind of clouding, if you like, to visual, almost like what you can even do it in a physical sense. Get a glass of water and a handful of salt, and when you could try this when you feel particularly imbalanced or emotionally disturbed or whatever, you can take the salt in your hand, use the sound, and allow allow it to dissolve into the water. So the idea here is to just allow these things to dissolve naturally, unconditionally, loving and compassionate. Allow them to dissolve into the stream of our pristine awareness. And of course, as Druids, we hold, do we not, streams and rivers with a very sacred significance, as we do all life, of course, but symbolizing the flow of life, the healing journey, the passage of time, perhaps even the flow of time. The stream is a wonderful metaphor for the flow of our emotions through the landscape of the mind. So observing the natural ripples in the water is a wonderful way of teaching us acceptance and understanding, and tapping into those emotions, understanding them as a natural, ever-changing phenomena that doesn't need to define it doesn't define the totality of our experience. The stream's capacity to allow those ripples to form and fade without altering its essential nature in any way. A wonderful way, practicing emotional acceptance, and also acknowledging the fluid nature of our emotional states. And of course, you can use the sound to help embody these qualities, this understanding, you can use the alchemical process of the solution. You can use the guided meditation there, as all of these things, and the physical movements, the breathwork, all of these things you can use to help encourage this quality. Mirror number 3, moving on, the mirror of mist now. The quality of non-attachment to thoughts. So the metaphor here, if you like, the practice continuing on the process of non-attachment to thoughts, which is, at the end of the day, a massive cornerstone in really, any mindfulness training. Envisioning oneself beside now a tranquil lake shrouded in mist. So here, the meditation that we'll do in a moment, offering a visual and experiential understanding of the ephemeral nature of our thoughts. So the mist here representing our thoughts now, appearing, vanishing over the lake surface, embodying the transient and insubstantial quality that can be so often attached to so many of our mental processes and emotional processing. Not in a critical fashion, but just something for us to reflect on. So here the idea is teaching us that our thoughts, like the mist, are impermanent, not solid entities that we need to grasp on or repel for that matter. They arise, envelop our mental landscape with various degrees of intensity, but then once again dissipate, leaving no trace, like the mist, evaporating. So here the idea is to encourage observing these shifts without attachment, emphasizing that our thoughts they do have the power to disturb the underlying stillness of our minds, but we don't have to engage with that. We can make it a different choice. So now the narrative, the visualization together that we can do. So imagine embarking on a tranquil journey once again through a lovely serene forest. Tall trees like silent guardians of peace and serenity. Treading softly now together along a moss-covered forest path. The quietude muffling the sound of our footsteps, leading us to a hidden, undisturbed lake. This lake, a mirror-like expanse of water, reflecting the surrounding mist and the sky above with a beautiful harmony. Shrouded in a gentle mist, the lake adds an air of mystique and serenity to the landscape, symbolizing the transient nature of our thoughts. As we sit now together by this tranquil lake, we can observe the mist as it begins to rise softly from the water's surface, ever changing, like a graceful dance over the lake, at times obscuring our view of it, but then revealing the beauty and the forest behind it, almost like a kind of serene rhythm. The mist, representing the flow of our thoughts, appears out of nowhere, envelops the landscape of the mind, but then vanishes just as quickly as it arrived, symbolizing the impermanent and fleeting nature of our thoughts. In this moment of observation, we can understand that the thoughts, like the mist, transient phenomena that don't need to disturb the calm surface of our mind. They come and go, forming, transforming, and disappearing without any concrete pattern, helping us to tap into the essence of non-attachment. So just as the mist does not alter the stillness of the lake here, your thoughts too can pass through the landscape of your mind without disturbing its beautiful tranquility. As you observe the mist, we can notice the resemblance to our thoughts. They come and go, forming, dissolving, forming, dissolving. Now for the sound, the seed syllable sound for this mirror. as we sit by the lake, we can use the sound sta. Sta. So see and feel the sound as you make the sound sta gently echo across the lake's surface. The sound capturing the essence of transience and impermanence. Feel the sound mirror the mist's fleeting presence, abiding in the realization that our thoughts are temporary. With every repetition of the sound sta, you can perhaps think of your thoughts becoming lighter, less almost tangible in some respects. To feel the influence of these thoughts and emotions diminish in some respects in their influence on your state of mind. A sonic representation, if you like, of impermanence, reinforcing the practice of observing those thoughts without attachment, allowing you to connect with the concept of their passing nature. So just like the mist forms, transforms, and dissipates over the still waters. So we'll do it one more time now. Sta. So breathwork integration. So when you're meditating on this, and don't forget, make any of these visualizations, if you're enjoying them or feeling any good from them, don't forget to make them your own. This is just like the idea here is to just give you a rough guide, if you like, an idea of how you can work in such a way. So mist-inspired breathing. As you sit by the imagined lake, or a real lake for that matter, align your breathing, if you can, in a playful sense, in a playful way like we've done all along, with the movement of the mist. So you can inhale slowly and deeply as the mist arises, as the thought and feelings arise in your mind. And of course this is particularly lovely for using it with difficult thoughts and emotions, imbalanced thoughts and emotions, negative patterns of thought and emotion. So as they arise, inhale slowly. Fill your lungs with life force energy, with oxygen. As the mist envelops the landscape, hold your breath for a few seconds, a few moments, and then exhale gently and fully, and feel the sound to dissipate. You, of course, can do this in conjunction with the sound sta. So you can say, for example, if you had a really anxious or fearful thought, inhale, let in the energy, and then as you exhale, you can use the sound, project the sound as by way in a magical sense as well, to help you dissipate that. So you're not just thinking it in the mind, you can also activate that quality, this movement, if you like, using the sound. This is one of the things that sound is so good for. Of course, you can say the sound quietly in your mind, silently in your mind. That's just almost as good. Of course, as a sound healer here, I'm trying to inspire people to make sound in a physical sense, in an audible sense. But yeah, either or is fine. But yeah, the point being, don't forget to use the sound to precipitate, to create that movement, that transformation or transmutation that exchange, that release. Of course, when you're breathing in, this is a sound. So we're always using sound in many respects anyway. Visualization with the breath. Focus on perhaps a sensation of cool, moist air, of the mist on your skin as you breathe. Feel the gentle touch of the mist with each inhalation, and release any tension that release any resistance, not just the tension. Well, tension is a form of resistance in many respects, but you get the idea. Release. Sensory connection using your breath to the mist to guide and deepen the visualization, if you like, or the practice itself. Gentle physical movements. Once again, hand movements with the mist. So incorporate any subtle hand movements to reflect the mist behavior. So again, like I keep saying, be playful. If you are able to visualize and see the mist in your mind, then allow your hands, your body as well to move, become the mist. So with each inhalation, you can once again gently lift your hands, palms up, mimicking rising mist. And as you exhale, then the mist dissipates in your visualization. Slowly lower your hands back to your sides. Or, whatever feels good. Make up your own one. Here, it's just applying a physical action to reinforce this concept of thoughts rising and falling, basically. Head and torso movements. Slowly nod your head, gently of course. Nod your head or move your torso in a fluid wave-like motion in sync with the breath. The movement representing the gentle undulation of the mist over the lake. Embodying in a physical sense that transient nature of the thoughts. So again, using breathwork, using physical movement, using sound, using a visualization practice, all of these things coming together in a symbolic sense, but also in a very, very kind of practical and real sense that we can actually work with. Alchemical process for this mirror, sublimation. So in many respects, in alchemy, the sublimation, a process of transforming a substance from a solid to a gaseous state without passing through the liquid phase. So here the meditation, we can use this principle of sublimation to transform the nature of our thoughts. So we often can feel like these thoughts and these feelings that we have are almost like kind of solid entities, almost fixed and tangible sometimes, especially when they're really intense, right? So the idea here is through the practice of observing them as mist, they can be transformed into a gaseous, transient state. So the alchemical transformation here, helping us to realize the non-solid nature of our thoughts. You have that thought, go and grab it then. Where is it? You can't, can you? So allowing them to rise and dissipate without needing to leave necessarily an imbalanced or negative lasting impact in inverted commas. So, allowing it, using the principle of sublimation, allowing things to arise and pass without becoming entangled in them, transforming the thoughts from a fixed state into something to a gaseous, a more transient state, mirroring the mental shift that is advocated by practicing non-attachment to our thoughts. And the mist is just such a wonderful way to, of working with that. And of course, while this might be a visualization practice, a kind of a magical or alchemical sound healing practice that we can do as druids and druidesses, but here, it's a wonderful thing to go out into the world, and the next time you see the mist, then you can try things like this. Become the mist. Take on the qualities, the kind of shape shifting here. Allow yourself change and alter the form in your mind to be adaptable to these qualities, these ways of perceiving and thinking that can have a massive, a very positive impact on our well-being. Moving on now, mirror of cosmos, aligned with spacious experience. So here the idea with this meditation is to embody, once again, a concept of spacious experience in our mind training, in our druidic mind training. An expansive perspective on the nature of our thoughts and the vastness or the infinite nature of consciousness, if you like. So here, the visualization that we will do in a few moments, and I'll just introduce you to, gazing into the boundless night sky, the sprinkling of numberless stars, symbolizing the mind's infinite potential and the relative insignificance in some respects of our individual thoughts against the backdrop of the cosmic expanse, of the fullness of emptiness, if you like. Each star can represent here a singular thought or sensation, a feeling. So in a healthy and balanced way, try to emphasize the smallness, again, the transience of mental phenomena when viewed in the context of the mind's limitless capacity. So here we're inviting ourselves to go beyond the daily clutter of life into a serene setting where the night sky, free from the obscuring lights of civilization or the noise of our conceptual mind. We're going to go into a nice open field. So imagine with me now venturing far beyond the daily hustle and bustle to a place of serenity untouched by this busyness. As the night envelops our landscape now, find yourself in a sprawling open field, and looking up, the night sky greeting you with its vast expanse, a clear canvas of darkness brought to life by the twinkling of countless, numberless stars. Each star, a distant world, appears as a mere speck within the grand tapestry of our cosmos. A lovely reminder of our infinite potential and vastness. Now, lying back on the soft, cool grass, allow your gaze to wander upwards, absorbing the celestial spectacle. Unobstructed, majestic view stretching into infinity, with stars scattered like distant jewels across the sky. Each star representing a thought, feeling or sensation, a tiny fragment of the boundless universe. Here, this cosmic vista providing a metaphor for our capacity for spaciousness and boundless potentiality, inviting you to see your thoughts and emotions as components of a much greater whole, reminding you of that limitless nature. In this moment of clarity, the vastness of the night sky becomes a direct reflection of your own inner vastness, offering a perspective where thoughts and feelings, no matter how intense or consuming, can be seen as fleeting and insubstantial against the backdrop of the mind's infinite expanse. So here, using sound, our seed syllable sound, dera, dera. So dera. Feel the richness in its resonance as a way of encapsulating the essence of vastness and infinity in some small way, echoing through the boundless nature of spaciousness. So with each time you use the sound dera, use the sound to forge a connection with that expansive quality of your own mind, reflecting that infinite expanse like the night sky above you. The sound serving as a kind of bridge, aligning your awareness with that universal vastness, encouraging your perspectives where thoughts and feelings are perceived as distant stars, tiny but yet significant, integral parts of the immense cosmos. So the micro and the macrocosmos, if you like. So that's the basic idea. In your mind, in your inner grove, you can do this in the physical sense. Feel yourself go out into a field. Quite nice at night time, because you can really see the stars, and look up and just feel that link between the inner and the outer, the fullness of emptiness, infinite potentiality. Use the sound as a way of connecting yourself with that quality. Embracing spaciousness, acknowledging spaciousness, inviting the continuum of that, using the sound. So breathwork. So you can do this lying down, comfortable position, outdoors, or in your mind under the night sky if possible. Gaze at the stars, and as you look at the stars, inhale deeply and imagine drawing in the energy from the vast universe. Visualize this energy as a bright light entering your body, filling you with the breath, with its sense of expansiveness, that of course is already us, that we already possess, and that we are. Synchronized starlight breathing, if you like. So with each exhalation, you can imagine sending out your breath towards the stars, creating a connection between you and the cosmos, that of course is already there. So the breath cycle creating a rhythm, symbolizing this infinite cycle of energy within the universe. In terms of gentle movements, star-reaching movements, when you're lying down perhaps, extend your arms and legs outwards, stretching gently as if to reach the stars. Here the movement representing your physical connection to the vastness of the universe. Hold the stretch for a few breaths perhaps, then relax back down to your original position. Constellation tracing. Move your fingers or hands in the air, tracing imaginary constellations or connective stars. So this movement not only engages your body in the meditation itself, but also helps to deepen a mental visualization of the vastness of this spaciousness of the cosmos. Integration and grounding. After you've completed the visualization, sit up slowly perhaps and just take a few moments to feel the earth beneath your feet. Grounding exercise here you can always use to help bring the cosmic energy back into your physical experience, so merging that expansiveness within your physical reality. Alchemical process. Calcination. The alchemical process here through the lens of calcination, playing a pivotal role in the development of that spacious experience. So calcination, traditionally understood as the heating of a substance to a high temperature to induce decomposition or transformation, metaphorically aligning ourselves with the initial and crucial step in our journey of mind training towards achieving or merging with that already existent spacious experience. So the process not merely just simply about a physical transformation, but obviously symbolizing the intense inner work that we do of burning away the constraints of our egos that we all have, the rigid structures of our identities that have the ability to vastly limit our perceptions of reality or our understandings of our mind. So the vast boundless night sky representing that ultimate potentiality of the mind's expansiveness. Each star signifying an individual thought or emotion. So the application here of calcination in this context involves a conscious effort to let go of the attachment to these individual stars, the thoughts and emotions, for example, that we often can mistakenly believe define us. And as we engage in the practice, we initiate the burning away of these limitations. So like a kind of alchemical fire, purifying the substance allowing for the emergence of a more expansive and liberated state of being that we can work with. So there you go. That's an overview of the first 4 mirrors there. We've run out of time really for today to delve into the other one, but obviously, like I said, this is just a kind of overview of the practice as a whole. Any one of these aspects can be a standalone modality or a standalone practice. So just as a recap, working with any of the sounds, using the physical movements in combination with the visualizations, working with the alchemical processes is a wonderful way of helping us train our minds and work in, and discover the ways in which we can develop these qualities in our perceptual field, in our embodied, in our physical embodiment. Also as a way of connecting with the natural world, with the world around us, the rivers, the streams, the mist, the space, the cosmos above us, the clouds. For me as a druid, these are kind of essential components to the work that we can do, that we can really, that is, to me, is just so much fun and so joyous. Is exactly that, is working, with the cloud. I see the cloud, I don't know about you guys, I see the cloud every day when I look out my window, even from inside, when I have difficult thoughts and emotions, or even joyous ones and pleasurable thoughts and feelings. They can like cloud my mind to all kinds of other understandings, truths and realities. So yeah, it's like I've heard Druidry often described. It's a living work, isn't it? It's a way of integrating ourselves with the joy of the universe and discovering how we can learn from what is all around us and within us, and to do that with as much as we can, with a greater sense of unity and lack of separation ultimately. Which is really the teaching of the fullness of emptiness that we were talking about there. But yeah, so yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, for those of you watching this outside of my sound healing community, the Resonance Room, you're very welcome to join us. We do this class on a weekly basis every Friday at the same time. So I will definitely be putting some links in the video description where people can join this. I'm operating a month's free trial for everyone, so you're very welcome to come along and make use of the free trial and see for yourself if it's something that you might like to be a part of. Thereafter, it's £7 British or whatever your currency equivalent is a month, but for that you get access to all of the classes like this one, all of the learning materials that I provide, for example, like the eBook that goes with this practice, and of course, the ability to interact at the community level with our fellow journeymen and women, and access to courses, music. Of course, I'm a musician. Some of you might know me from my work with the Mind Orchestra. There's all kinds of exclusive mixes and chants and this kind of thing that I include in that. So there's a lot there. I definitely feel it to be good value. I'm very happy with the work that we do in the community. And so be very welcome to join us there. And if not, please, if any of this was remotely inspiring, then it would be a great joy for me to think, even without knowing that any of you might have used it as some kind of inspiration for your own beautiful journey, for your own work, and to just encourage you really to use that fantastic wisdom that you possess already, and really work with those qualities, and be playful and imaginative. So I bid you all a beautiful rest of your day, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. And Matt, you take it easy. Yeah, lovely to have you at the session today.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Yeah.